Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump have officially joined forces. You saw them on stage as Kennedy endorsed Donald Trump after suspending his own presidential run. Based on what he said earlier, it appears he's still hopeful that a path to the White House remains possible.
I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not ending it. My name will remain on the ballot in most states. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election.
My source tonight is Kerry Kennedy, RFK Jr.'s sister and also a human rights activist. And it's great to have you here tonight. You responded to this earlier. You said that this was a betrayal of your father's legacy. Why do you think so?
Well, I think, if my father were alive today, he would detest almost everything Donald Trump represents. His lying, his selfishness, his rage, his cynicism, his hatred, his racism, his fascist sympathies, his deliberate misinformation about vaccines, his criminal felony convictions, his contempt for the poor and suffering, for ethics, for democracy, and for healing, and his cruel sneering at human rights for suffering people in America and around the world, which is the cause that so moved and motivated my father. So I'm outraged and disgusted by my brother's gaudy and obscene embrace of Donald Trump. I love my brother, but this is an outrage. And I completely disavow and separate and dissociate myself from him on this issue.
Have you spoken to your brother lately?
No, I haven't. Bobby, I saw him a few weeks ago at my daughter Mariah's wedding, but Bobby knows my view and my feelings very, very well.
That must be pretty difficult for you.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because this is a time when there's so much at stake in this election. This is why almost every single person in my family is fighting so hard to reelect Kamala Harris and Coach Walz, because they've been champions of the values my family has fought for years. And Donald Trump is the polar opposite. He threatens the most basic freedoms that are core to who we are as Americans, for women to control their bodies, to live in communities safe from gun violence, which brought down Uncle Jack and Daddy, to love who you love, which impacts people in my family and people across our country and around the globe. So, these are not light issues for me. These are issues that I've spent my entire life fighting for.
Yeah, you were just at the Democratic convention. Your other family member, Jack Schlossberg, was also there. He tweeted today that essentially what this showed was just that RFK Jr.'s vote was for sale. Is that how you view it, as your brother's vote is just, his endorsement's just for sale?
That's not the way I would put it. I think it's sad, and it's the sad ending to a long, sad story. And I think anybody who's been watching Bobby and his actions would draw the same conclusion. As I say, I love him, but I think that he's terribly, terribly misguided.
In a state like Arizona, where he was with Trump tonight, that was a state that was decided by such a small margin of votes. Are you worried that if Donald Trump does win in November, and you obviously would like a different outcome, are you worried that what happened today could in part be to blame?
Well, I'm not an expert on this, but I did speak to several pollsters when I was out at the DNC, and they all said the same thing, which was that Bobby's vote is of people, primarily people who are disaffected. So either they're people who would not vote at all for anyone else or will vote for a third party candidate, probably Jill Stein. So they're really, at this point, a few months ago, he was taking from Donald Trump and from Harris, but at this point, he's really not taking from anyone. He's just taking from people who otherwise probably won't vote. But I think it is important in Arizona and in so many other places across our country when you think about what the current administration with the Biden-Harris administration has accomplished. Wages are up, inflation is down, small businesses are booming, manufacturing jobs are coming back. They've capped the cost of insulin to $35 a month for those on Medicare, lowering prescription drug costs, student loan relief to nearly 4 million Americans, and the first bipartisan gun safety legislation in 30 years. So I think that this election matters. It matters for our economy. It matters for the heart of what it means to be an American. And it matters for basic bread and butter issues. What are your taxes? Do you have a job that you can go to? Or can you pay for your health care? And on all of those issues, Harris, Walz are in much, much, much better than Donald Trump.
Kerry Kennedy, thank you for your time tonight.